Big up. Love and positivity, roots and culture. This is Roots FC with King Roots, the podcast for the youths. And greetings to all under the sound of my voice. Big up to Doing Life and making me sound so good as always. Now, this is the podcast for the youths, podcast for people who love football, who love to talk about football and who feel football in the spirit, right? Whoever finds the roots in football, Roots FC is the podcast for you. Now, speaking of roots, I was reading a book the other day, and this book had in a verse, and the verse said, "If I speak with human eloquence and angelic ecstasy, but I have no love, I am nothing but the creaking of a rusty gate." Now that just means that if I come on this podcast and I don't speak on the things I love, then I'm doing a disservice to you, I'm doing a disservice to me. So King Roots is here, and today I want to talk about something that we reason a lot about in football, and that is what makes a player truly world class. You hear this title being thrown about normally, just randomly, with people talking about, yeah, this player world class or this player world class, but there got to be some sort of criteria, something that we could judge players on. Every single player, not just some players playing for some clubs or some players playing for another club. We got to have criteria where we could judge these players, and we could really see for ourselves statistically and without a doubt which players really world class and which players kind of overrated. Because you know they got enough players in football today that they have a good marketing team, they have a good agent, so it happens that these people got better images, they got better sponsorship deals, so people think, yeah man, he's a top player, but sometimes he really don't be. Now, as soccer fans who love this beautiful game, one debate we often get tangled up in is this debate on world class players. Who indeed is, who indeed isn't, and who has the potential to be. Now, potential in football, the potential definition of potential is having or showing the capacity to become or develop into something in the future, and potential is a noun for that which is possible. So we always say that, yeah, this player got potential, but what's really potential? I think every player, once he work hard and be professional, train hard and have a good attitude and keep himself fit, he could be world class. Everybody got that potential. It's just who can have the wherewithal to apply that there to their football career, because a lot of players don't. A lot of players just like the celebrity, and we know that. A lot of players like the celebrity, the life that being a footballer brings. So, you know, they just like the celebrity life. So world class in the professional football world is a phrase often thrown around, sometimes willy-nilly, but it still remains and always will be the highest praise that one can bestow upon a professional. No footballer wants to be decent or simply a skillful player. No footballer doesn't even want to be very good. All footballers aspire to be the very best, and all footballers, I'm telling you, want to be known as world class. But at the core of this argument is a very subjective matter. That means it is entirely based on opinion. As much or as long as the Ballon d'Or or the Team of the Year awards exist, we as fans will still find some way to disagree with the top footballers that being branded about. So we will see Team of the Year come out when the Ballon d'Or is announced. We will say, oh no, this body should be in there, no, this body should be in there. But really and truly, who deserves to be in there, we don't even know. But we just know that whoever is in that team, we can disagree with. When Di Maria was in the team a few years ago, everybody disagreed. When he wasn't in the team, people disagree again. So it's like, you can never please us football fans. That's what makes football arguments so compelling and so interesting, because they can go on forever and ever, because we football fans have no brain whatsoever, and we can just debate the same things over and over to our heart's content. It's really fun. It's really, really fun. That's the main reason I got this podcast, because I want to talk about these things over and over and over and over again. But in my view, a world-class player is one who performs consistently well at the senior professional level. Ideally, the player must be a starter or at least in the first 11. Well, first 11 and starter is the same thing. I mean, the first team squad, he's got good games. He's got cup games, league games, get a few Champions League games, you know. But I mean, if you world class, you can play very consistently. And this person has to achieve great stats at the highest level, ideally the Champions League, top domestic leagues, and the top domestic leagues in Europe, where you will look for these players is England, Spain, France, Italy, Germany. Those 5 leagues. The Premier League in England, La Liga in Spain, Liga in France, Serie A in Italy, and Bundesliga in Germany. Those 5 leagues is where you look for the top players. And then on the international stage, you're looking for European Championships, Copa America, the Confederate Championships, You're looking for players to perform in that. You're looking for players to perform in the World Cup. You're looking for players to just perform in friendlies and qualification matches, especially on the international stage now. Players that you find got more than 100 caps. These is top players, you know. Like if you get picked by your country more than 100 times, that means for that period, you were one of the best footballers from your country. So you got to be world class in some way. I mean, the best footballer, granted from Barbados, may not be world class, but to us, the footballer from Barbados who gets the most caps and selected the most, he got to be one of the best in Barbados because he's consistently being selected as one of the best footballers. And I can think of Mario Hart. I could think of Hayden Holligan, who just signed his first professional contract. I could think of Ronaldo Bailey, who's playing professionally in Trinidad. So we got a good set of talent out there that being selected for the team. So we coming good, man. Probably in the next 5 years we could be challenging regionally. But all top professionals who we might consider world class don't fall in this criteria, because somebody like Gareth Bale, who for the first time this summer achieved any real marginal success with his international country, he isn't expected to ever win the World Cup or even the European Championships. So his international success now will mostly be judged on caps, and he got a good lot of caps already and a good lot of goals. So he on the way to being world class. But in any case, when Sir Alex Ferguson's autobiography came out, he said he managed 4 world-class players at Manchester United. Now, Manchester United, granted, is the greatest brand in world football. If not the greatest, one of the greatest. Well, I think it's the richest club or something like that. I don't really get in the economics of the matter. It's all about the love on the Roots FC podcast. We don't get into the economics of the matter. We deal with the roots, man. Right. But in that autobiography, he said managed 4 world-class players. That's Cristiano Ronaldo, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Eric Cantona. And a lot of players who played for Manchester United and were successful, who were pillars in the side for a period of time. Nemanja Vidic, Rio Ferdinand, Wayne Rooney. People consider these players world-class players too. In the history of Manchester United, these were the players at the forefront of the success. So obviously, the best club in the world, this man at the forefront, he world-class too. It makes sense to football fans, right? So a lot of these players were aggrieved. They were very hurt by the fact that Ferguson did not include them in his list of world-class managers, because obviously Sir Alex Ferguson, he is a world-class manager. So if he said he worked with 4 world-class players and you're not one, how you gonna feel? You gonna feel like, oh, he just had me there because he could have done a little job. He didn't really think it was special. And this man is the special manager. So if this man come out and say, yeah, Ferdinand was special, ooh, you understand what I mean? Like, yo, this man really want me to play for this club, and this man know that I was gonna be something. But anyway, Rio Ferdinand posted this long thing on Facebook. It was very interesting actually, because he really gave a more concise definition of what a world-class player is, and or what we should judge players on when we study if they're world-class, if they're just good, or if they just got on a good run of form or whatever, right? So Ferdinand says, Sir Alex Ferguson named 4 players from his time at MUFC as being world-class. And Ferdinand asked the question, where was mine among a few other names, boss? How does he judge a player to be world-class? Then he lists performing in the big games, consistency, a high level of ability in all areas of the game, great goal scorer, great saves, great tackler, influential leader, match-winning contributor. That list could go on and on with many different areas to judge upon. There's no common rule that serves up the criteria. It's a great debate to have amongst friends, as we're doing here on the Roots FC podcast. Love and positivity, roots and culture. This is the Roots FC podcast. King Roots, you're under the sound of the Roots man. It's a great debate to have amongst friends. We've all done it. Ronaldo, Pele, Maradona, Cruyff, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo are all obviously world-class players from different eras. They dominated games, leagues, tournaments with their skill, desire, goals, and ruthlessness many a time. The one thing the guys all had was that no matter what situation they were in, they found a way, either to score, to drag their team forward, to prove their worth, even when considered the best. Even when these players know that everybody think they are the best thing ever. These players still want to go out there and prove that they deserve that title. And that's, you have to cultivate somebody's character, somebody's ego. Like, how you can know that you're the best but still want to prove it? Like, how you can not get lazy? Like, most people will get lazy and get complacent, but how you could be so brash and brave every day to go and prove that you're the best? Wow. If we all could have that mentality, the world would be a better place, you know. It really would be. But in any case, these are some of the traits that a player needs to be considered world class. So what does a midfielder, a defender, or a keeper need to be considered? Can a midfielder run games consistently? Can they score important goals? Can they get assists, carry the team, control games, be responsible? Do they have the personality to take the ball in any situation at any time? Can a defender dominate all types of strikers? Can they influence others to perform better? Are they vocal? A leader? Do they have consistency? Perform in big games? Are they brave? Can they play? Can they pass? Do they have any technical ability? Can they control the ball? Can a keeper make changing saves? Game changing saves? Are they consistent? Are they leaders? Do they have personality? These are some of the things you will have to consider when calling someone world class. Do you have to have performed well at major tournaments internationally as well for your clubs? What about a player like David Beckham, the best crosser of a ball I have ever seen or played with, but dribbling and beating players were not part of his makeup? Does that rule him out of the world class debate? Pirlo, a phenomenal passer of the ball. Andrea Pirlo, the Italian. Dictator of games, but not a great tackler. Neither was Paul Scholes, actually. So is he not a contender? Are they not contenders? Do you have to be one of the best paid players in the world? Samuel Eto'o held that title while in Russia, was he? But more seriously, I do believe that a world-class player must be someone who could walk into any team in the world and improve them. Of course, the Ronaldos, the Pelés, Maradonas, Cruyffs, Messis, and Cristiano Ronaldos would all do that, no problem. So, yeah, the debate still goes on. What makes a player world class? But I think it's easy to look around the leagues and see what players are really world class. You know, Cristiano Ronaldo world class, Lionel Messi world class. I believe Thomas Müller is world class. A lot of people disagree with me, but I like Thomas Müller. Thomas Müller is very successful on the international level and successful with his club as well. So how you could not consider Thomas Müller in the pantheon of world class players? But anyway, that is a debate for life, and that is the thing about football. Is a life sport, and as life goes on, football goes on, and football debates goes on, and Roots FC podcast will go on. Big up Don't Light Studio for keeping the levels so right and making me sound so good in the headphones. There's no mathematical formula to determine any surefire world-class player, because you will only get wrapped up in this debate. Overall, it's just a feeling you get. So if you got any doubts that this player is world class, he probably isn't, you know. Like, the boy don't doubt that Ronaldo world class. That's why you can say that on the Roots FC podcast. Right there, boy, yo. No boy don't doubt that Messi world class. So that's why I could call his name on the Roots FC podcast. Nobody should doubt that Müller world class. So I will always call his name on this podcast. So if you got any doubt that a player world class, say, okay, Paul Pogba, is he world class? I got a little doubt about that, so I can say, alright, he isn't. Wayne Rooney, I guess he was world class at one point, but I got a little doubt about that in my gut now, so I cannot say so. But in any case, if you get any doubt that the world class, they ain't world class. If you know in your heart and your mind and your soul that this player world class, he probably is. That's the end of the debate. That is the end of that debate. Now, speaking of world class players, you know, I was talking about how world class players got some players that are world class and some players who really got a top image. You know what I mean? And Cristiano Ronaldo is a top image. He's almost a football model. All these sponsorships and endorsements he got underwear, shoes, suits. So this man is really a model, you know, but he's still a top footballer. But another man who could be a model too for football, on and off the pitch, is a Brazilian called Neymar. And Neymar recently helped Brazil to the gold medal at the Rio Olympics, and I thought that was fitting. And we love football because football has these romantic moments that just make us like, yo. Cristiano Ronaldo won the Champions League in 2016 and then won the European Championships with Portugal. Unprecedented. So when we look at football, it's like, yo, that really happened, yo. Leicester City won the league in 2016, the English Premier League in 2016. When we look at that, like, yo, Cinderella story, this romantic story. That's why we love football. But in late June 2016, he was included as one of the 3 over 23 players that they included in the Olympic team because he ranked. There was a decision to be made if he would play in the Copa America, and Luis Enrique's club manager at Barcelona decided he wants Neymar to rest for the Copa America and go and play, allow them to go and play in the Olympics. So right now, as we speak in this Roots FC podcast, Neymar is not appearing for Barcelona as yet. He's still getting a little holiday. But what's more important is that Neymar was named as the captain, so he was already bestowed this title of Prince of this team because he was given this armband, he was given this leadership position, this iconic position that he already basks in this iconic position, but he was given this position on the pitch now for Brazil for the first time in his career. So I think that was real iconic and real cool of the Brazil Federation at that time. And Brazil exercised some demons and gained some vengeance over Germany in the final and also over the entire football world by winning the gold medal after settling for silver at the 1984 games in Los Angeles, the 1988 games in Seoul, Korea. I said that right? Seoul? And the 2012 games in London. Brazil won 1 and drew 2 of their 3 group games, scoring 4 and conceding none, while the German team, the world champions in football, also won 1 and drew 2 of their 3 group games, scoring 15 and conceding 5, largely due to a 10-0 win over Fiji, who conceded 23 goals in all 3 games in the group. Now, I never hear about Fiji playing no football nowhere. If they had Fiji there, they could have had Barbados there. I think that we would have gone and played them teams a little better. How you could concede 23 goals in 3 games? How much goals that is? That is 7 threes is 21. That is at least 7 goals in every game. You don't deserve to be playing at your Olympics if you can come and do that there. They could have let the Barbadians go with them names I called before: Mario Hart, Hayden Holligan, Ronaldo Bailey, Dario Weir. Big up Dario Weir. We could got these people playing at the Olympics and we will look much better than this Fiji team, man. So them let Germany get an easy ride, but Germany still didn't even finish top of the group. But in the quarterfinals, Brazil beat Colombia 2-0 and Neymar scored 1, and Germany beat Portugal 4-0. So Germany already looking now like a strong team goal scoring wise. Then in the semifinals now, Brazil beat Honduras 6-0. Neymar got 2 in that game, and Germany beat Nigeria 2-0. So that set up a rematch. Well, not really a rematch because Germany embarrassed Brazil 7-1. People still talk about it to this day, and that was 2 years ago. And like, that is how bad it really was. Like, watching the game, and I covered the game for World Cup cricket on CBC TV 8, and I was doing that game. And when these goals were going in, we had no idea what was going to be bestowed upon us. An absolute football nightmare for Brazil. The country that adopt football as their own and had their own style get beat bad by these Germans that come down to them home country. Embarrassing for this country that boasts all these top footballers and being the country that make football beautiful. Because football is apparently a very dull sport. I don't understand. But the Brazilians made it, sexy and danceable. And danceable is not a word. Sorry about that. But we don't use words that are not words on the Roots FC podcast. This is King Roots, the Roots King. But Brazil made football very beautiful to watch. Joga Bonito and all that there. So it's like, for them to get beat so bad on the biggest stage of the World Cup, they had to do something about that, and they had to come and beat Germany in this game. Seriously. So you don't know, Neymar was going to be very important for these people. The final featured competitive action from start to finish, with Brazil mustering 17 shots with 4 on target, and Germany had 14 shots with 5 on target. Germany had more shots on target but less shots. Brazil created a little more chances, but it wasn't really much in the game, seriously. But Neymar opened the scoring after 25 minutes with a magnificent free kick off the crossbar, which duly sent the Maracanã Stadium into a frenzy. Brazil were lucky to go in at halftime still leading though. Germany hit the crossbar and the post 3 times. It was 3 times, man. I think one was a header, one was a ricochet, and I can't even remember. But they hit the post 3 times, man. That's crazy. When you hit the post 3 times, you gotta be telling yourself, alright, none of these ain't going in here today. And by going, I mean going. None of these ain't going in here today. So we should just give up this game. I don't think I would think like that there though. But that gotta be rough on you when you keep hitting the post. And Brazil, the free kick went in off the crossbar, so it's like the crossbar was helping them, but it wasn't helping Germany. But anyways, at 2 different ends of the pitch anyway, so that point is very invalid. But there must have been some evil force on the woodwork, because I don't understand how all these things hit the post. But shortly after the second half commenced, Germany put together a sweeping move on the right hand side, ending with a sweeping finish by Max Meyer. Max Meyer is a player who plays for Schalke in Germany, from about 16 yards out to silence the loud home support. Man, when this goal went in, right, you could hear a pin drop in this stadium, because the Brazilians, their golden boy has scored a free kick, a magnificent free kick, and they were leading the game. They were jubilant, excited. They were saying, yeah, we're gonna win this gold medal. This gold medal is ours. But then Germany pop up with a goal after some good play on the right hand side. So he's like, jeez, all right. I don't know if it's because they didn't have faith in the team, but they're silent in there, man. And after that, none of the 2 teams can muster another goal, so it went to penalties after 120 minutes. That's the usual rule. After 120 minutes, after full time, 90 minutes, and after 2 periods of extra time, we go to penalties. So that was the last thing that the Brazilians wanted, because Brazilians don't want no more heartbreak, because from losing the World Cup semi-final so heavily to not performing so well in the last 2 Copa Americas to then losing on penalties in the World Cup, in the Olympic final, that would be too much for them. It would be too much for them, and the Lord doesn't give anyone anything that they can't bear. So, but I think that the Brazilians wouldn't be able to handle that, so that's probably why they won the gold medal. So big up Brazil. But before, it had to go to penalties, and Germany took the first penalty. Matthias Ginter, he scored his in the left corner. Renato Augusto went first for Brazil, and he scored his high in the left corner. Serge Gnabry went second for Germany, and he scored his on the right side. Marquinhos went second for Brazil, and he scored his in the right corner. Brandt went third for Germany. He scored his in the right corner. Rafinha went third for Brazil. He scored his with his left foot in the bottom right corner. Very good penalty. Sul went fourth for Germany. He scored his in the right side netting, very low. Luan went fourth for Brazil. He scored his. He had a little stutter run up, and he scored it in the right side netting. Then Peterson went fifth for Germany. Fifth. If he was successful, it would have been Brazil who had to score their fifth to put it into sudden death. But he went up and he got saved. The keeper dived to his left and saved it. So it was so perfectly set up for the golden boy of Brazilian football in this modern social media tech era, globalization era, Roots era with the Roots FC podcast. This is King Roots. The golden boy of this generation in football for Brazil is Neymar, and it was so fitting that he had to step up there and go and win that gold medal for his country, and he duly did with a top penalty, top in upper right corner. Like, if he hit this penalty in a game, in a shootout, it scores every time. The most perfect penalty to win the most perfect gold medal for Brazil. Amidst all the problems that happened and all the social problems we heard about in Brazil with the construction and the renovation for the World Cup and for the Rio Olympics, it was good that Brazil won a gold medal at a sport that they are known worldwide for, and they dominated the tournament. They only conceded that one goal, dominated the tournament, and it was fitting that they won the gold medal. And of course, on the Roots FC podcast, we love to celebrate the romantic moments in football. That was definitely romantic. I love the fact that Brazil exercised some demons and got some vengeance back, because in football you never like the same person to keep beating you. You want to beat them. If the cause you hurt, that is the most fuel to go and beat any football team. So congratulations once again to Brazil for winning the gold medal at the Olympics, and congratulations to their forefathers, Portugal, for winning the European Championships. Big up Cristiano Ronaldo. But don't forget to big up Don't Lie for keeping me sounding so good. This is Roots FC podcast, King Roots. Speaking of European champions, I want to talk about the champions of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Now, the champion in Italy was Juventus FC. The champion in Germany was Bayern Munich. The champion in France was PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. The champion in Spain was FC Barcelona. Now, we are going to replace Leicester because we talked about Leicester on the previous episode of Roots FC. And I'm going to put Real Madrid in there because Real Madrid is really on the same level as Barcelona. Are they? That's another debate that we have to have on the Roots FC podcast, because Barcelona and Real Madrid are, these two entities of Spanish football, so everybody looks to them all the time for who's going to do the better on the Champions League stage, who's going to perform better in La Liga. With Atletico Madrid coming up there, is like these two have to perform better. If not, Atletico Madrid are just going to come up in there and take their spot, as they did a couple seasons ago. But that's neither here nor there. So we put Barcelona and Real Madrid in there. So Barcelona won the La Liga last season, 2015 to 2016, and this season will be the club's 86th consecutive season in the Spanish top flight. Now that needs some applause. FC Barcelona, stalwarts of La Liga. And this season they'll be playing in 3 competitions: the league, which is the La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Champions League. Well, I said 3 competitions because it's really 4, because they played in the Super Cup in Spain against Sevilla and beat them 5-0 on aggregate. But this season Barcelona have gone under a few winds of change. Leaving the club was Dani Alves, the influential right back. Adriano left the club, Vermaelen left the club, and Claudio Bravo left the club to go to Manchester City. Vermaelen has gone to Roma, and Adriano has gone to Besiktas. Dani Alves has signed for Juventus. So with that, transfers in: Denis Suarez from Villarreal, the midfielder; Samuel Umtiti from Lyon, who played in the European Championship final; Lucas Digne from PSG, the defender, he's a left back; Andre Gomez, the midfielder, he's from Valencia; and Jasper Cillessen, who was bought after the Claudio Bravo sale to Manchester City. He is a goalkeeper from Ajax. Now, Barcelona did not do as well as they would have wanted to do in the Champions League. After winning the treble the season before that in 2014-2015, winning the treble, then last season they didn't perform as well. So I think Lionel Messi coming into this season, especially after the defeat in 3 consecutive finals, the 2014 World Cup final, the 2015 and the 2016 Copa America finals, 3 consecutive finals Messi lost. And I think that right now he knows he's in that part of his career where it's only down from here. As much as we would not like to admit it, the Roots FC podcast revels in the truth, and we have to know that Lionel Messi doesn't have too many years at the top, or does he? This man is superhuman. But that's another time, another discussion for the Roots FC podcast. But when you got these players in your team, you are expected to perform well in the Champions League. So Lionel Messi will be hoping to perform well in the Champions League. But now Barcelona have a new core of the team. Sergio Busquets is still there, but Iniesta is looking to... He's also soon going to retire, so there's a new core there, so you have to wait and see how they do. But over now to their rivals Real Madrid. This is also Real Madrid's 86th competitive season in the top flight, and they didn't really add any persons. They were linked with Paul Pogba, but Paul Pogba eventually went to Manchester United, but they didn't sign anyone. 3 players joined the club. Alvaro Morata, he's come back from Juventus. That was a buyback deal. Fabio Contrao has come back from Monaco. And then Cheryshev, he came back from Valencia, but he's gone back to Valencia on a transfer. So really and truly only 2 players returned to Real Madrid, but these were 2 players already on their books who were out on loan. So we have to see what Zidane's plans are for them this season, but Madrid haven't really expanded the team or changed the team in any real way. Probably content from the Champions League winning squad from earlier this year. They beat their rivals, their crosstown rivals, in the final on penalties. So I think maybe they're content with the caliber of players that they have. So yet to see what will happen with them. Hopefully Zidane can deliver a league title for Madrid. That would be very romantic as well. I know in Roots FC we like to focus on the romantic, so let's see what Madrid do this season. Now, over in Germany, Bayern Munich, the champions of the German Bundesliga. This season, this summer, they signed a young 18-year-old Portuguese guy, Renato Sanchez. He's a good technical midfielder, very strong, fast, bustling midfielder, breaks up play. He has some playmaking abilities as well, and he's seen as one of the young potential talents in world football, and they've snapped him up for a very pricey amount. Earlier this summer, they also signed Mats Hummels from the rivals Borussia Dortmund. Hummels, who was already on the Bayern books, but was transferred to Borussia Dortmund after a time, and at Borussia Dortmund he blossomed into a world-class centre-back. Now Mats Hummels is world-class. We thought world-class already, and I think that Mats Hummels world-class. Anybody willing to debate that could come down to Don't Lie Studios, and you could get on the Roots FC podcast, because this is for the people. This is for you and you by I and I. Roots FC podcast. This is King Roots. So Bayern Munich lost a few notable names, especially Sebastian Rode. He went to Borussia Dortmund, another German club. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, he's gone to Southampton in England. Mehdi Benatia, he's gone to Juventus. Mario Götze, who was one of the golden boys of football, he won the World Cup for Germany, but since then he hasn't really featured under Pep Guardiola at Bayern Munich, and that is probably why he's got to transfer back to his home club, Borussia Dortmund. So Dortmund getting Mario Götze and Sebastian Rode is pretty decent for losing Mats Hummels. It would give them new integration into the squad and maybe make the squad stronger. You never know. He's gone back to Borussia Dortmund, as I said. Now, switching countries, we're going over to Italy, and the champions of Italy, Juventus FC, dominating the Italian league for the past few seasons. They have signed Miralem Pjanic from Roma, Dani Alves from Barcelona, Mehdi Benatia, as we said, from Bayern Munich, Gonzalo Higuain from Napoli. That is the transfer that everyone is talking about because it involved a hefty transfer fee, but they also got some money in this transfer. Never mind, Alvaro Morata went back to Madrid. That was the end of his loan deal, so he went back home. Martin Caceres left the club as well. Rubinho, the goalkeeper, left the club. Juan Cuadrado has gone back to Chelsea at the expiration of his loan deal. Andrea Favilli has gone to Livorno. Simon Padoin is going to Cagliari. Paul Pogba, for a world record transfer, £89 million, has gone to Manchester United. Mauricio Isla has gone to Cagliari. Roberto Pereira has gone to Watford. Simone Zaza has gone to West Ham United. Juventus obviously looking to improve on their Champions League performance of the last two seasons. They lost one final and then knocked out the quarterfinals, I believe, last season. In any case, they are looking to improve their Champions League performance. They really have to, if they want to be still considered one of the top clubs in Europe, because if you're one of the top clubs in Europe, you have to be in the Champions League and you have to be performing in the Champions League. So Manchester United need to hurry up and get back to the Champions League. Arsenal, if you're going to be in the Champions League every year, try and do something. Try and beat somebody. Try and beat a big club and at least get to the semis. At least get to the quarterfinals. If you want to be a big club, occupying space in the people competition. But over now to France, where we can finish up with PSG, the French champions, who walked to the championship last season. I think they won it in March, April. They win it in some early month like that, and that's unprecedented. Win it by a lot of points, so they're mashing up over there. As we were saying, Barbados, they're mashing up the French league. This summer they have signed Hatem Ben Arfa from Nice on a free transfer. Hesse from Real Madrid for 25 million euros. Thomas Meunier from Club Brugge, Belgian defender, for 7 million euros. And Giovanni Lo Celso from Rosario Central, a club in Argentina. He's a midfielder, for 15 million euros. So PSG still looking to improve the squad after the departure of Zlatan Ibrahimovic to Manchester United. He left on a free transfer. Gregory Van der Wiel has gone to Fenerbahce. Then the most notable departure, or one of the most notable, Lucas Digne has gone to Barcelona. The French left back, he's gone to Barcelona. So that is so far the end of PSG's transfer dealings for this summer 2016. Now you have to expect big things on the international stage for these big clubs, because these are the ones who spend the most money, the ones always in the limelight, so you want them to do well. So you have to keep posted, watch your football, and watch these big clubs, and watch the ones in England, watch the Premier League, watch all the leagues, man, because football is such an entertaining sport, such a compelling sport. Even if you want to say that you don't like Spanish football, go and watch the Spanish football, go and watch the English, go and even watch the Panamanian football, man, because everybody playing football is playing football out of love. And that is what we promote here. Love and positivity, roots and culture. This is the Roots FC podcast. King Roots. Big up Doing Life for the awesome production. Big up Doing Life for providing everything here so that the King Roots podcast will be successful. This is me signing out. King Roots. Love and positivity.